Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And from the end zone, Deontay Hardy will bring it out. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And not much doing there. Maybe a yard up to the 23. Well, this defense for the Raiders, they were fantastic a week ago in that win over Houston.
No matter what coverage was called, they were right in the hip pockets of the receivers all game long. Step for step, running their routes with them. Turned out they were right there every time the ball was in the air, and they came away with 5 interceptions in that one.
On 2nd and 9, Winston. There's Chris Olave. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will. The Saints at 4-3, a game over 500. And they were winners their last time out, so they'll be looking to make it 2 in a row.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset, being in the right frame of mind. And the best way to get in that good frame of mind, winning. So they come in feeling good. They've got the home crowd behind them. I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one.
And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. This running game so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, sometimes the defense just beats you. Great coverage from the secondary, all of them in the proper position. So instead of trying to throw into tight coverage, he found a way to throw it away and come back and try again the next down.
It's been a 7-play opening drive, and this is 3rd and short. Winston. They'll get this out to Kamara. Touchdown, Saints. Alvin Kamara, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Saints will jump on top of the game's first score here this afternoon.
And that's another route the defenders would vote to take out of the game.
The wheel route?
Without a doubt. You're just trying to move everybody in one direction. And whether it's a running back or another receiver, as they zip out on the sideline, you've got a problem on your hands.
Yeah, the defenders hate it there. It happened, and it resulted in a touchdown. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Here's Abdullah from his end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Catch is made by Hunter Renfrow. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. The end result, 21 yards. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter one. First rep of the game for Josh Jacobs. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
Nice run defense presented there, and what I mean by that is discipline. Guys filling the right gaps in the right holes, no one over-pursuing, and making a very nice play.
On 2nd and 9, Carr. He'll swing that out wide to Jacobs. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
To throw, it's Carr. And a throw there going to be incomplete. Now on 4th down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And they are over 500 for the season, 4-3. They got back above 500 with a victory last week. And, Charles, you think this is a very important week for them, do you not?
I certainly do, because when you start to do the math, and yes, I'm using my fingers to count. If you're 4-4 at the midway point, let's say you're saying 10 wins is your cutoff line for a playoff berth. It's usually right around that number. A loss here, all of a sudden you've got to go 6-2 down the stretch just to reach 10 wins. That means this game is vital.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Winston. He completes it to Olave. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A gain there of 30 big ones. That's evidence of why you spend a high draft pick on a receiver, isn't it, Charles?
It certainly is. His ability to make plays like that, and we've seen flashes of it from him so far in his rookie season. But also, it opens things up for the rest of the offense because they have to bring their attention to him as well.
Winston to give. It's Kamara. And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. 2nd down.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Again, it's Kamara. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Raiders call on a nickel set here for 3rd down. Jameis to throw it. That pass complete to Deontay Hardy. That he won't quite make it. He needed 6. He got about 5. 4th down.
A short game that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. 4th down. Winston. It's complete. Swings it out to his running back. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. A big pickup there. 20 yards as they convert on 4th.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
Jameis now on 1st down. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. Max Crosby blowing up the play and getting the sack.
Well, competition comes up in so many different ways. And right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. Had about 5 sacks last week. We just saw their first one of this game.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now after the sack. It's 2nd and 20. Play fake. Winston. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Merrick. And the Raiders are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really, on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards, and they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot. On the handoff, this is Jacobs. And this is going to be a Raiders 1st down as he's got this past the 35 to about the 37.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
On 1st down, they go with Jacobs again. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. David Onyemata, excellent effort, and he earns a tackle for loss. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, if it's bring in your tight end, keep him in, your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance. To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Carr. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Cameron Jordan, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
Throwing on second and long. Winston. Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Rock Ya-Sin. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. They set themselves behind the chains, tried to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back one pitch at a time. In this case, they try to get it back.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Demario Davis coming in for the sack that time. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. Well, good field position to start the drive, but under the gun now here on 3rd and 8. Here's Carr. Over the middle, complete. It's Johnson. And he'll get nothing out of that one. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. So Carr exits on 4th down, and on comes Daniel Carlson for the field goal try. Right hash mark of 42-yard attempt. The kick by Carlson is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And with a 7-3 lead, we'll see how aggressive they want to be. He'll find its tight end. It's Adam Troutman. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Now Winston. That's caught inside the 20. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. 34 yards the gain that time, another first down. Now, we know this offense has the potential to strike quickly, and they just bit off 2 huge plays on back-to-back snaps.
So on the other side of the ball, you've got to go Band of Brothers thought process. No one left behind, no pointing fingers, no accusations. Because if you don't, those quick strikes we just saw, they become long-lasting.
Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. Winston to the sideline here on 4th down, and Will Lutz gets set for a New Orleans field goal try. The kick by Lutz is good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
The final shot here before half for Carr. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
The final shot before break. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of his first half of play. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Raiders are going to have it first, and they trail here as we get back to it in this third quarter of action. Abdullah's going to stay put, and the drive will start at the 25. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well. They've kept them around in this game. Now they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
Carr to throw on 3rd and 1. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
The goal is certainly to try and make a big play happen and climb back into this game, but you have to be careful. If you overdo it, you could turn it over and hurt your team.
Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for Vegas. And now on 4th and 1, it's a fake. And this is caught, and the gamble pays off. They get the first. The deception there pays off to perfection. 14 yards on the fake punt and a first down.
Always enjoy a good fake, but I really enjoy it when he throws the football from punt formation. Now, you were a kicker and a punter in high school. Did you ever do that?
One time, threw to my man Tim Jones on a botched field goal attempt. Hit him right in the numbers, and Jones, he just dropped it.
Oh, the poor guy. Well, we had a fake punt here, and this guy caught it, so I think he and his friends will be okay with that one.
And he loves his play call, right? He's been waiting for this one all week long.
Been had that arm loosened up ever since they got to the stadium.
From just shy of midfield, Carr. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. The passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Carr. Throw left side complete. That's Jacobs. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They looked like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
The left side throw complete to Adams. And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Again, they'll throw with Carr. Trying to get it to Adams, but it's intercepted.
And the Saints are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line.
So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And some room to work. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. Defensively, they were in the 3-4, and that O-line just dominated the D-line there.
Let's go with a verbal telestrator here, because that D-line has a nose over the center, and it has the two defensive ends over the offensive tackles. That means the guards don't have anyone over the top of them. That creates a natural bubble inside. They sprint upfield, take on the inside linebackers. If the back hits it fast enough, there should be space to run.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. Winston now. Tries the left side and finds Olave. Room here to run. Touchdown. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
Here's Abdullah from his end zone.
And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. A big mistake last time they were on the field, tossing that interception inside the red zone and really taking away what had been a pretty successful drive up to that point.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any question about it. As they head out on the field for this drive, that whole offensive unit is just thinking redemption. You know, they moved it really well, didn't pay it off. This time, they want to make sure that ball ends up in the end zone, and they're the ones possessing it.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
Glad to be in the great city of New Orleans, rolling along here in the third quarter, 2nd and 10.
Carr now to throw.
And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been any. This defense has been all over it.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. And that will be incomplete.
Give them credit for excellent coverage, tight coverage. They're doing a lot of things that we talked about in basketball. They're causing disruptions in the passing game. And as long as that continues, it'll be tough for them to gain any momentum throwing the ball downfield.
Here's A.J. Cole now. On presumably to punt, though he did complete a pass earlier. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive. As they score here, especially a touchdown, it's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
That's complete to Troutman, right side.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. From the shotgun, it's Winston. It's hauled in by Hardy. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy run.
And Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Denzel Perryman. The 20, 10. And he will not get all the way home, but he will take this back down to about the 2-yard line. He had his eyes on the end zone. He got close. At least he set the offense up nicely, but he's probably mad he didn't take that one to pay dirt.
I agree with you, and you know he's going to get teased because he didn't get it all the way into the end zone. But if they don't score now, if they don't get a touchdown, he won't just get teased. They'll be glaring at him. How'd you not score? Partner, this is almost an unwinnable spot for a defense. They have to come right out for a 1st and goal trying to stop them. But let me hold on a second. Let me take that back real quick. They can win.
And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Saints are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here. Maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
On the counter, here's Kamara. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. First play of the drive, lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Now Winston. His throw incomplete.
I certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Open man is the tight end Troutman. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because to me this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
A 10th carry for Kamara. And he's got a good gain of 7 up to the 37. Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try to finish off a game.
54 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times. A pair of first downs gives him a 1st and 10 up at the 44. They run it again with Kamara. And a lane slow and materializing there as he'll get maybe a yard up to the 45. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
That one covers 29 yards, first down. Kamara up the middle. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
This one taken in by Olave. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
And we've seen him have success earlier on with the ball in his hands because he is a get it in space and make a play kind of a receiver. But that time, they closed on him quickly and held him to a short gain.
They'll get this out to Kamara.
And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. A gain of 8 and a first down.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
That is caught by Olave. Touchdown, New Orleans.
3 touchdown passes down in the ball game for Jameis Winston.
And the Saints are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this fourth quarter lead.
What's good on the extra point? And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. After the touchdown, wants to kick it off.
And Abdullah will not try to bring it out.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started.
Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. He'll drop to throw. The open man here, Renfro. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Carr to throw again. He's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfro. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 29-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Throwing on first down is Carr. He's going to find and complete it to Renfro.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
And he's wrapped up, taken down, back at the 25. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts, as it comes with exactly a minute to go in the football game. after the sack on first down. Carr. That's going to be caught. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. Call that a very strong gain of 24. Now Carr. And this is going to be intercepted.
Picked off by Paulson Adebo. And the Saints are going to take possession here at their own 3-yard line. So a good drive with a bad ending, Charles. They move it down the field well. Cannot finish it off, though, as it's intercepted in the end zone.
Deflating, that has got to be the word here because they were sharp in moving it down the field. But sometimes you start thinking like a touchdown is a given. And it doesn't always work out that way as we saw there.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock.
Second down, and it's Kamara again.
And they'll get him down up past the 15. That'll go for a gain of 13, helping big time to get away from that end zone. First down. So this one a victory here for New Orleans. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for New Orleans,
the victory means they'll up their mark to 5-3 on the year.
And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Baltimore Ravens next week.
Meanwhile, for Las Vegas,
they fall a game under the 500 mark at 3-4 through 7 games. And they'll be on the road next week as they get a date with the Jaguars in Jacksonville.